Guys, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching us on YouTube here with the Screen Team. I'm being joined by Amber Richardson for this next film, and Amber, it's always a pleasure to have you on. We get into a lot of serious films, and I know that a lot of times you'd want to probably, do a lot of the cartoons and stuff like that, but I need somebody for the serious films, so I apologize right off the bat for...
I'm your lady.
But this next one is so hard to talk about and so hard to get into. It's called Phantom Thread, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, who is one of my all-time favorite actors.
I was super excited about this.
Love Daniel Day-Lewis. And Paul Thomas Anderson is the gentleman who directs this, and he is a big-time director, but a lot of his films are very, very slow and it's like watching paint dry. It really is. Did you ever see There Will Be Blood?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of that. Did you ever see Magnolia?
Saw that one too.
Not a fan of that. Did you ever see Punch Drunk Love?
I did not see that one.
I kind of like that one. It's weird. Don't get me wrong. It's weird, but it's definitely typical Paul Thomas Anderson. But this next one, Phantom Thread, we got Daniel Day-Lewis. He's kind of like a fashion designer back from the 50s?
Yeah, I would guess 50s is the right time period.
Somewhere around there. And he does a lot of high-profile people in England and France, does a lot of royalty as well. He's the man when it comes to fashion in our movie here. And he's also not only is his strong point fashion, but he is also very controlling in all aspects of his life, correct?
Mm-hmm. In everything.
Whether it's him designing his clothes, whether it's who talks to him in the morning, what he has for breakfast in the morning, and when he goes out on dates. He is very, very controlling with his dates, and it's very, very hard to get into. What did you think about this movie?
Well, there was like the first hour of the movie, I really was questioning whether I was going to finish it.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it that was hard for you?
I was just bored.
Yeah.
I was just horribly bored. And I was like, what is this about? Where is this going? I was really excited about this movie at first because Daniel Day-Lewis is, of course, an incredible actor. Yeah. This is supposedly his last film before he retires to be a cobbler or whatever he's going to be.
I hope it's not true.
I don't know if I believe it or not. But and it was centered around fashion, and his character is a fashion designer, so I thought there would be like lots of fashion and a little bit lighter when it came to that kind of stuff. But that was not the case. It
was almost like a chess game in this film between Daniel Day-Lewis's character and his young protege, muse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, muse is a good term.
And each of them, like we said, Daniel Day-Lewis is very controlling. He wants things to be a particular way, and he wants his women to be a particular way. And the young lady who plays the particular role in this film, she obviously is very smitten with Daniel Day-Lewis. But what I liked about her character, she was probably the thing that I liked most about the movie. She didn't give in a lot to him. She kind of...
Yeah, she's not having it.
Yeah. She didn't pull any punches, which, if someone else was in that particular situation, they'd be like, oh, okay, or be kind of meek. And she wasn't meek. She was a strong character, even though she was with kind of a jerk.
Yeah, but she's she's doing it in a very manipulative way.
Right.
So she's not very direct with him. I mean, the things she does to kind of gain some of that control away from him is really manipulative and pretty shady.
It is shady. She basically got him sick so she could have the control, so she could have the power in the relationship. Yeah. So she could nurse him back to health, and because at that particular time in the relationship, that was when he was at his weakest, and he needed her.
Yeah.
He needed her for sure. Also, we have the sister in this kind of triangle. She was kind of like second in charge.
Right. So it's kind of like he's the artist and he's got his weird quirks, and she's the one who comes in and makes sure it's all to his liking. And she's the one who has to kick the girls out the door when he doesn't like them anymore.
That's right. Was there any scenes that excited you in this film? Because, for me, when I watch There Will Be Blood, it's like 3 hours of baloney, and then the last 10 minutes where he's talking about drinking somebody's milkshake, that was awesome.
Same thing with this movie. Exactly the same thing. It was blah, blah, blah. And then the last 10 minutes of the movie is like, oh my gosh, what just happened here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is this a movie we're going to revisit, Amber?
No.
Not at all.
No. The only interesting thing really to me about this movie is the ending. and trying to figure out, okay, what exactly happened here? How is the story moving forward after this? Because I think it's really left open.
Yeah.
And so you don't have any way to know. That's the only interesting thing to me about it.
I agree, man. It's a tough watch, but if you're into those serious dramas, and of course, Daniel Day-Lewis was nominated for Best Actor for this film. The young lady who plays his sister was also nominated for, I think, Best Supporting Actress.
Supporting, yeah.
The movie was also Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson and for Best Picture as well. So a lot of people liked it.
I mean, if you're a Daniel Day-Lewis fan, you should watch the movie just so you have the full repertoire of Daniel Day-Lewis.
There you go. That's Amber. I'm Chris. We're part of the Screen Team. Coming up, we've got more reviews right here on KWOC.